And the purpose of this plan, it's really to create a vision and guide the community. And no disrespect, it's not really about us tonight. It's about the kids of your kids. I'm talking 2 generations out. That's what tonight's all about. It's a big responsibility of how we interact and what is the vision and the mission for the uses, the management, and the long-term stewardship of your community, of which the river is one of the major backbones. So the other purpose of it is to have a dialogue.
Initial planning process is important. It's a starting point, right? And the end point of this first phase is not a victory or a loss. And if you're coming into this thinking that all I have to do is get through this planning process to get myself a victory and so that the other side loses, that is not going to be a healthy place. It's not a healthy foundation for all the ongoing planning process that needs to happen. If you can create and do the hard work of investing in a story that all the pieces fit together, and there might be a lot of those pieces that you don't agree with and you might even be upset about because your side didn't, but as long as you have that sense of connection, there are things in that plan that you can find value and that you can see will be good for River Falls. That is hard work to get to that place, but that is the value of community planning.
But what I'd really like this to be is a community discussion. And most important thing about a quarter plan is that it opens the door for conversation. Its intent is to build a candid conversation that builds trust in relationships between neighbors, between government and residents and institutions, so that you work together as a group. And it's not just River Falls, it's not just Wisconsin. It's one of the largest and cleanest, I emphasize the word clean, global industries. 8% of the globe's economy is credited to tourism and environmental recreation. 10% has an economic impact in terms of, again, money being spent and taxes being generated. It's environmentally friendly, it promotes conservation and preservation, and it is utilizing the resources that we have. So really the big benefit of economics, the economic benefit of recreation and tourism is really this summary list here. The big benefit is your community. The quality of life, the brand that you create, the attractiveness for investment, the reduction of risk and wanting to invest in you, which of course results in employment and tax base. I've already overheard some people saying, well, where's the money coming from? That's where it comes from, tax base, investment. The job creation from the industry's perspective, over 6 million jobs are created. 6.5 billion, again the B word, spending a year. From the outdoor recreation's perspective, they're saying that almost 40 billion of taxes are generated from the stuff they sell.
So I would say in summary that it is a trap to look at this sort of planning as a collection of narrow interest. And again, I think that is kind of our inclination in today's politics, is to say, I have an interest over here, here's another interest, we have about 10 interests, and all we have to do is take these interests and kind of plug them side by side and say, all right, those are the compromises. But what you want to do is have that collective vision, the vision that takes all those different interests, which are important and they're valuable, and they oftentimes express what people really love about this community, and say, what is the broader story that can accommodate all of those things, maybe not in their purest form, but that can weave those together into a collective narrative that we can all buy into, that we can all find, that we can all find our own identity in that narrative. Because if it's a one side or another side, and it's a winners and losers, then all you have is one side that felt like they won, and another side that feels discouraged. And it's not easy, and there will be disappointment because there are those compromises, but I think it is possible for a community that cares, like River Falls, to find that more complex story, and it takes evenings like this. So engage the complexity of the issues in front of you, boldly promote the values and uniqueness of this town, understand the power of the story that you're creating, and I think the third piece that you don't often see in smaller cities is that sense of entrepreneurism. That sense of, and entrepreneurism isn't only the small business owner. It is that, definitely. You got to value that and lift it up and celebrate that, but it's also being entrepreneurial in your civic engagement. It's being entrepreneurial in how you engage with your neighborhood. It's taking risks. It's being willing to step forward and saying, I'm going to make myself vulnerable to you by expressing my opinion, or being willing to listen to you even though you have a different perspective. That feels dangerous, and you can feel vulnerable in it, but it's entrepreneurial because the moment that you bring those two ideas.
And so what this quarter plan will hopefully accomplish is to take all of your singular needs and goals and objectives and make them a community goal and objective. As a river, as a community on a river, as a community that's defined by its river. This sounds pretty holier and high and all this stuff, but trust me, you've got to accept the challenge. If you accept the challenge, we're going to get through this thing in 3 years, and you're going to have one heck of a plan, and you are going to love this river more than you ever thought you would. I promise you that.